Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff. I'm here with co-host
Chip.
Chip. There he is. He's over there. There he is. What is going on, Chip? It's been at least 23 hours since I saw you last. And the OTC family, the OTC community, we gather every 23 hours, every 24 hours, like clockwork. It's perfect. So today we are going to get into, you guessed it, we're going to talk about XRP RippleNet adoption on a global scale because yes, it is happening and there's some great things to get into on that topic. Then we're going to dive in. We want to dissect this whole flare, spark, drop conundrum. And did you know that Nascar has gone crypto, or should I say crypto has gone Nascar? And what in the world is going on with Shiba? Why are we seeing adoption of Shiba at all sorts of layers and levels and whatnot? So those are some of the few topics and many more that we're going to get into tonight. So if you're ready, if everyone's fired up, I say we kick this thing off. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
What is going on, Chip?
Shout out to legendary Yo Chip and Jeffro. I think that's your new nickname, Jeffro. What up, Jeffro? It's like Jeff with a fro. You just need to get one of those fro wigs.
I like it.
Awesome. What up, Jeffro?
I like it. And just a
Flare
point
community
of,
is here. By the way, great video earlier, man. I jumped in that
Flare
earlier.
community with the 3 hearts. Outstanding. Glad that you're here.
Thank you for doing that stream, man, because I'm fired up about this whole thing. Fired up. If you guys don't know, Flare community is the best channel, covers Flare hands down, bar none. That's it. End of story.
That's it. Awesome. And just a point of order, if you haven't done so already, when you come into the room, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're brand new, hit the subscribe, because that's what we got to tell you to do. That's it.
That's what we have to tell you to do. That's right. What's going on, Kelly Slade? Kelly Slade's in the house. Another OG. Hans is back.
Hans and Franz.
Guys, so Chip, where you're from in there. John Doe, we covered one of your tweets. I don't think you were even in here. I think we covered one of your tweets last night.
It was lurking. So Chip, what's up with the Borg? The Swiss Borg.
The Swedish Borg?
Well,
there's a lot of the Swedish Borg.
The Swedish Borg.
When I think of the Muppets, they like burskadoo, burskadoo. So somebody else was controlling the hands, always like hit the face and stuff up its face. Yeah, I want to jump into this story because I think this is actually, is that the right one? Let's go. Here we go.
There's a couple of them over there.
So yeah, Matt Hamilton, Ripple from RippleX dropped this out here. And I saw a couple people talking about this thing, but I think this is amazing, man. It really is fantastic. Let's jump on it. And this is really something more for probably international audience, but gosh, everyone who comes in here is international. So Matt dropped this. So the Swiss Borg said they were happy to announce the Swiss Borg app, which will support the XRP token, offers institutions. Okay, so it's a different level we're playing at. Institutions, fast, reliable option for sourcing liquidity. And Matt said another service supporting obviously XRP, Swiss Borg, an aggregator app, allows you to purchase XRP, will automatically pick the best price across a number of exchanges. So if you're going in on, let's say, I don't know, you're going to buy 100,000 or whatever, you know, that little fluctuation is going to make a difference when you go ahead and execute that trade. So I wanted to throw this up.
Dude, that's really cool. But that's global. That's on a global scale, not something.
Sorry, guys. A little interruption here.
My
boy Paul, it's his birthday today. And there you go. Sorry, I was looking at his birthday today, by the way. But a couple years ago, I was going to a concert, saw Paul in Miami, and he switched his concert from the 5th to my birthday, not saying what that is. And when he said it, who is anybody got a birthday? And I was like, yes, I do. So Paul sang to my birthday, and I'm going to sing to him later. There you go. Just
nice.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a little side adjunct right there. And so what is XRP?
What is the Borg?
What is the Borg, the cyborg? That's cool. They have like a little sort of a Borg here. But this is their blog. They talk about the key features of the asset for payments, fast, efficient. A lot of this is going to be a review, but you got to look in the eyes of this organization and how they're putting this blog post out to people who might be coming in, right? This is a quick review for us, but look at how nicely they've laid it out. Fast, efficient consensus algorithm, finite XRP supply, 100 billion, responsible software governance.
I like that part.
Yeah, that responsible is good. You could just put software governance, but no, this is
It has to be
responsible.
responsible.
Because
That's right.
likely there's some projects that have they're irresponsible, and that's a whole different thing. Secure, adaptable cryptography, modern features for smart contracts, features like escrow, checks,
Nice.
payments.
Look at that. Built in,
Yep.
baked into it. What do you know?
It's coming. Well, it's coming. It's getting there. Yeah. So and then on ledger decentralized exchange, and that's the key thing. And I'm wondering if anyone from the XCC is watching tonight. Hello, decentralized exchange, not a security. Talk about how it's used, fast, less costly, how third parties are using it. How does the ledger work? What is exactly the consensus protocol? And the conclusion that XRP is highly secure and liquid, being traded on over 140 exchanges. The consensus algorithm settles transactions in 3 to 5 seconds, can handle 1,500 transactions per second. I can't wait till that blows up to like 100,000 or 50,000.
What do we see? The most scalable digital asset ever.
Yeah, and keen to add you keen to add XRP to your portfolio? Hot hell I am.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Use the Swissborg. Go to the Swissborg app and save on your XRP, but not for use in the US.
Not for use in the US. Sorry about that. Wah, wah.
Sorry, guys.
The US is losing on every possible aspect. No clarity. Every other country, perfect clarity. UK, one of the best systems in place. Singapore,
and then the US chip.
Check.
Come on. Perfect clarity in the US. It's the clarity of no clarity.
It's the clarity of not understanding. And then if you go, so, and Jeff and I were laughing about this before, you know, the Borg on Star Trek wasn't a good thing. The Borg was like, they will, you know, you'll be assimilated, right?
Will be assimilated. Maybe that's their idea. The Swissborg, they will assimilate you.
The Swissborg. So yeah, pretty cool thing. Invest in cryptos the smart way. And I like, you see that right there, Jeff? It's not available.
Notify me. Oh, yeah.
There you go, right there. But
there it is in small print. Remember, always read the fine print.
Yeah, I don't pay more for the same cryptos because they have this smart engine which connects to those exchanges. So you go to like Binance, Kraken, LMAX, and hit BTC, all that. So that's a cool, fun thing of that. If you guys might want to check these guys out. I'd love to. Unfortunately, cannot.
If you're not in the US.
It also has some yield, CHSB yield, smart yield.
Sweet.
You can get reward tokens. Pretty cool, man. But again, you guys see, you know, Jeff and I are talking that, Jeff, how cool is this that we just continue to see all of the things blowing up outside the US, and we don't want to like ignore that because that is a huge part of the ecosystem.
It's a massive part of the ecosystem. And, you know, this isn't about the US, it's about global adoption. And we have people that are from all over the world tuning in and want to find out about the development and the advancement in this space. So whenever we look at a project like this, regardless of what the SEC does, regardless of the lack of clarity, regardless of what the Financial Services Committee and Maxine Waters do or don't do, there's still adoption and adaption, you know? So we see how this is being adapted to and adopted. It's amazing. This idea with the Swissborg, let people invest, let people find, you know, XRP. And there's something happening over in Vietnam too. What was that? What's that deal with the flim flam?
Yeah, so we kind of covered this a little bit, but this is, again, it's starting to blow up, getting a lot of notoriety. This is the Lynx Global launched
FinFam.
Yeah, the
FinFam.
They got 3 times fast. FinFam. It's like
FinFam.
FinFam.
FinFam. It's an N, right?
Yeah.
Is it an N? FinFam.
Yeah, on the Vietnam payment rails. So Vancouver, BC. We had someone in here from BC last night. They announced today its subsidiary Direct Agent 5, also known as DA5, has opened up a direct operational payment distribution channel to service the Vietnam market by way of API integration with FinFam, Vietnam's largest provider of global remittance services, which uses what, Jeff?
Bitcoin.
Buzzer. I'm hitting you on the buzzer on that. No, it does not use Bitcoin.
Where's that reverse buzzer? You get the buzzer. Take him out with a XRP. It does. It uses the XRP ledger.
Yeah, they're Ripple partner, an effort to service pent-up demand.
They use this RippleNet actually.
I love that word.
We're not sure if they're using. We don't know if they're using the ODL. but they are using the
I believe
RippleNet.
they are. We did. I know we did the
Let's see.
story where we touched on
We
it,
did.
but
I believe they
yeah.
might be using it for the foreign exchange.
Oh, that's right. Direct Agent 5 for purpose sales, marketing, operations, Australian transaction reports, blah, 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 blah. Recently launched DA5 Australia operations can now offer our customers both cross-border money transfer services and the exchange and trade of money for digital currencies and digital currency for fiat in that market. And that was the effects, I believe. Here in Australia, the demand for the local Vietnamese and Chinese population supporting our efforts is significant. And now that the FinFan rails are open, we expect substantial remittance and Forex volumes to start processing. So
It's
yeah,
massive.
right. It's just another huge
And the story
development.
continues.
Yeah, its story continues. It's looking to expand its network of global distribution rail integration. So that's
Like
just the
it.
first rail
There,
they laid
so
down.
there it is with remittance, Forex, and crypto payment services becoming more competitive. The greater the capabilities provided by one source solution, the greater the differentiation advantage of the overall solution. That's big.
That is
That's
big,
a
man.
really big statement, by the Linux Global CEO. I like that. And that just shows you, I mean, everybody's in tune with what's happening. And it just seems like, the guys in government always a little bit, late to the party. They're sitting back there and, and there's the key right there. But Chip, we talk about like, Amazon and PayPal and, they're sitting on the sidelines. They don't have to get into crypto right away. They've got, they've got a big customer base. They've got the initiative. It's really up to them when they want to get actively involved. But then you take government, for instance, and those guys, they're just trying to figure out the whole ones and zero type of thing. They're a little bit slow. And, hopefully it starts clicking because some of them are clicking. But we got to get this more in front of what's going on in the US.
Yeah, agreed. And so here it is right here. FinFan became the first neo-banking institution in Vietnam to utilize the Ripple XRP blockchain network.
There you go.
Its global financial payments network called RippleNet. So every time you see a story like this, people are getting more familiar with it. And we're starting to see this in more publications. This one was picked up by Yahoo Finance, which I still think is probably one of the. I always like to go there and check stocks. It's a really nice platform. They always have really good news. It's probably the only part of Yahoo that I still use. Or I think ever used. As part of RippleNet, which finance more than 300 financial institutions worldwide. I think it's more like 400 now. FinFan, in conjunction with the partnership, carved out more transparent solution for on-demand, minimalized transaction fees.
So they're using it. They're not just using the ledger. They're using XRP. They have to be using the ODL as well.
Yeah, real-time bridge between the multi-currency exchange that could be instantly settled in the destination countries on a 24/7 basis. So, people start reading this stuff. They start looking at it, look on the mass adoption scale and say, because somebody that's looking at their stocks, this comes up, they start reading an article about this, start seeing the same sort of name coming up. Quick, fast, 24/7, incredible transaction speed. And so, yeah, it's really fantastic to see. And it was a good news day out there today, man.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. We're seeing adoption, and we're seeing that conversation continues. And we're, it's great. It's really good to see. And Johnny Nevermind over here, I think Johnny's over in Thailand, but he said Ripple will move and XRP will still dominate worldwide in upcoming years, regardless of the outcome of the case. And I agree with him. Yeah, I believe it will continue regardless of the outcome. The only difference is the speed at which it develops. I think if the US is actively on board, then you're going to see things happen at a much faster clip. Plus, you have a lot of remittance payments coming out of the US. A lot of banking happens out of the US. But, the rest of the world's catching up fast, and crypto is the catalyst to get them to catch up. So, man, big. That's good big stuff. News. Yep.
There's one other quote here that I wanted to read, which is says, this is CEO Dr. Wen said, FinFan brings Vietnamese Generation Z over the globe, the first fully digital generation. Think about that. Money beyond borders is an experience. These demographics want their financial experiences to be seamless, effective, in line with their lifestyle preferences when sending money home to their loved ones. So he's totally nailed that. That's something that you should pin up almost everywhere.
Yep. I agree. That's a good one.
It's a good one.
Fin
Oh,
fan.
beautiful.
Fin fan, not the flim flam.
Oh,
So Johnny said he got Shiba too. Can't believe it's catching on so well. He figures in a couple years or less, it might be more significant. And so this whole idea of this conversation over Shiba. Now, where I had something up here, I got all
Shiba
these tabs
Inu.
going here, and I don't know what I did with the Shiba commentary here, but oh, here it is. So check this out. So it's interesting because this was on Investor Place. You know, in Investor Place, they're getting into this conversation of cryptocurrencies, digital asset, where to invest, how to invest. Oh, it's getting messed up here. And now, you know, they're getting into how can they reference and talk about the SHIB. So where to buy it, 5 ways to get your hands on the SHIB crypto. You know, so this is on the Investor Place, you know, and all of a sudden they're digging in. Why Shiba? Why are people talking about Shiba Inu? You know, it's amazing to me that it's catching on at such a clip right now, and it's going to be you know, available on there was something else. There was another listing, but the fact that Coinbase Pro listed it, man, it's mind-boggling to me.
But
Yeah,
I think
soon
it's one
it's
of
going to be
those.
the next hyper.
But it might be one of those name brand recognition. It gets a little bit of steam. You
Yep.
know, it's kind of riding coattails of Doge a little bit. But
Yep.
Jeff, this is something I came across. I wanted to throw this back up here. This was on the whole. There was a whole. Oh, sorry, I did this on the wrong one here. This was the thread of the Swiss Borg, and there's a couple of comments. So Panos said, "Hey, it's great to see finally at last 100% correct information about XRP." And we went through it, and you know, so many people get it wrong. Like they don't, and they really identified in a very short space all of the key sort of bullet points.
Yep.
Then here we have, I agree, it's one of the few descriptions of XRP and the XRPL made by someone other than Ripple that's actually 100% accurate. And
like it.
where is the, I hate when I do this because I got to go find the stuff. Maybe it was over here. Yeah, but yeah. Okay, so then Zoran chimes in and says, why on earth the centralized coin? There's so many better coins out there. Pano says, you probably want to comment on a different post. XRP is decentralized. And if you guys ever read this, I believe we read this one. We went kind of a little bit through the thread here about this thread that Panos put out about why it's decentralized. A great thread. And he says, do you plan on partnering with Ripple and becoming an ODL exchange partner? That would be great for the business. Stephen Bull Diep says, first, I thought this was an exchange, but it's in fact a DeFi platform.
What are we talking about? The Swiss Borg.
That's right, the Swiss Borg. And then
Yep.
he says, yeah, it's a wealth
Good.
app. We're like Skyscanner and the crypto world. Daily Swiss Borg finds for us best rates in the market, gives it to its customers. But guess what customers it doesn't give it to, Jeff?
Those in the US. All right,
Damn.
let's move on from this. Getting
Damn.
upset. We can't tap into the Borg.
Can't tap into the Borg.
However, I'll tell you what is exciting. Somebody brought up Voyager and the Voyager platform, and you can get SHIB on the Voyager platform. And I think it was RC over here also said that you got the Shiba swap. So there are some cool things going here, but check this out because all of a sudden Landon Castle is being sponsored. His Xfinity Series car sponsored by Voyager. So I think this isn't the first time that we've seen digital assets come to car racing, because we just saw Bitcoin sponsoring an F1 car, and here you go. Was it F1 or Indy? It might have been Indy.
I think it was Indy.
Right. So you had the Bitcoin sponsoring Indy, and now you got Voyager over here, and I think we had Doge sponsoring a NASCAR before. So this isn't like the first one, you know, coming out of the box, but man, it's kind of exciting to see, to see what's going on here. And this is where, kind of the real world, the main street is starting to really get to see. And I forget who it was that said, when you start seeing crypto sponsoring the NFL, if you see them sponsoring the Super Bowl or the World Series, that's where you know that it's
Miami
actually
Arena.
reaching, or the Miami Arena. Check that out. Crypto, NASCAR, crypto, IndyCar, crypto. It's all over the place. They got the money, man, and they're putting it out there, and it's exciting to see that happening. Oh, and as Kelly Slade just said, the NASCAR driver is getting paid in crypto, in Bitcoin and in Litecoin.
Well, that's
So
even
that's
better.
awesome from the sponsor. That's how they're getting it. Living
So-
by it. It's awesome.
So is that so they're getting totally paid, like 100% type paid, and probably is what he chose, right? To interesting.
Yeah, it's
Interesting
a great way to
Litecoin,
do
though.
it.
I wonder why Litecoin.
I don't know much about Voyager, but I'm sure that has something to do with it.
That could be, yeah. It's a good point. And he's
Yeah.
here. So
I
someone
shared that
earlier in
nice
this-
video. Yeah.
Someone earlier in the chat, Jeff, said that they got a crypto exchange. This was Rich. Rich crypto tokenage Wade. He said he got his crypto domain. Which one? What did you get? You're supposed to say, "Hey, I got my crypto domain. Here's my domain." I attempted to get chip.crypto, but supposedly this is how the
Was
story
taken.
went. When I reached out to him, they said, "Oh no, someone just got that." I'm like, "Well, who? It's not being used. Not in use." "Oh no, someone has it." I'm like,
The person you were talking to.
and they said, "No, it's a real." I said, "No. Please make sure that a squatter's not sitting on it. Like people just bought up a bunch of names like they do in every domain community." They go, "No,
Right.
there's intention to use it. It's still not being used." So there you go.
Huh.
I would like to know what your crypto domain is. That'd be interesting to find out. Oscar
Uh-oh.
has his domain.
What's going on here?
Jeff, you were doing before your.
I have to step away for a second.
What happened, Jeff?
My laptop's not plugged in. I gotta go fix this.
You gotta go
situation.
run and get your. All right,
There
here,
you
I'll
go.
tell you. There you go. Okay.
Put you up live. Full size, full
Yeah.
screen.
Boom. That's so weird. Like I see myself full screen. It's so weird. Usually we see each other in these little ones. So yeah, with the whole crypto domain, I love the idea. You know, also the pay string where it's simplified, right? I mean, it's like you don't have to go like here, scan my barcode, or let me send you an address, or let me. The .crypto is a really cool thing. And what's the other version of .crypto? I know they got two of them. There's .crypto and there's. I'm trying to think of what the other one is, like XYZ or something like that.
There we go.
And of course, I can't find it. Well, what are you gonna do? I don't know. But there's another version of it. They said, why don't you just get that? He said, or why don't you just get something else? And I was like, well, I don't want something else. So I think what I'll end up doing is getting something on Zum, because Zum's going to be doing Zum is going to have a pro version. Visa Vin said he was going to have a pro version of it. I was looking for it. I wanted to do it right away, but Zum wallet's actually pretty nice, clean. I'm loving the direction of where it's going. Of course, top developer working on it, who really understands the ecosystem. But the whole idea that you can put little apps on there that can do other things, that to me is pretty exciting as well. So I like that. Is it .coin? What is this one? Who's saying that? .coin? .zil is the one. Thank you very much, honey. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's the one. Unstoppable domains, getting addicting. I just want one name, and it's very simple. Chip.crypto. That's it.
Chip.com.
I don't even want chip.com.
Chip.com.
I don't want it.
Chip.io.
I only want a crypto domain. That's it. And they're like, well, why don't you get 642-9789 chip.crypto? I'm like, no. Because that's what you do, Jeff. Like when you're the first one, like a chip, then you put your phone number, you put some dashes and sixes in there.
Nice.
Bunch of stuff. How you doing? You plugged in now?
All right, I'm all plugged in. Now check this out. All right, we got to dig into this thing. You ready to talk about this? There's I know you have kind of your opinion on this switch over, but they did come up with a distribution option on Flare for Spark. This means they're getting pretty close to that first 15% distribution, because any way you look at it, there's going to be a 15% distribution. So now there's been, so they start this off, a number of questions regarding the tax impact or the tax implication of getting your Flare token, your Spark token. Now, the way it was set up originally is that you get your 15% basically at a zero value. And then moving forward, for the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to get 3% a month, but then it's already assessed a value at that point. Now you're getting free money. And so there was a lot of discussion over that 3% and what the tax implication could potentially be for anybody that gets it. And so this is where they started thinking, and they said, okay, we're going to come up with a couple different options on how we can possibly solve it. So they came up with these different options. And basically, in option number one, you get your 15%, and then you'll end up burning a small amount of Spark in order to buy the rest of your distribution. And so they're able to mark it up as an actual buy. So, Chip, we look at this. Let's look at these three options. So option number one is going to set it up like this. Chip, you get 15%, gets distributed. There'll be a 5-month period that goes by. And during that 5-month period, the community gets to vote and come to consensus. And then two things can happen at that point. You're either going to get option number one, which you're gonna, well, actually, there's three options in this case, because if neither one of these option one or two wins, then it stays with what's already on the books, which is get your 15% and get your 3% every single month. But if they opt for one of these options, option one or two, you're going to get 15%. There's going to be a specified amount of your distribution that gets burned. And then after that, you're basically buying your 3% distribution moving forward. And the rationale behind that is that since you bought it, you're not going to be taxed. There's no tax implication until you sell your distribution. However, if they give you 3%, there's a tax implication or assumed tax implication based on what their research was, that they're giving you 3% that you're going to have to pay tax on. So that was number one, that you're going to get it, that you're going to burn to buy, etc. Option number two is they give you 15% and the other 85% of all available Spark gets burned. And then that's it. There's going to be 15 billion Spark. The other 85 billion get burned, and that's it. They're going to do away with it. So what are your thoughts going through this process? You have the original way, you have this option number one, and you have this option number two.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, what do you want for nothing, right? I mean, they're giving it to you for nothing. It's like, by the way, before we hit that real quick, I'll finish that up, but let's do this right here. XRP Supercar, thank you for that amazing support. Cheers, great show, keep it up. Thank you. We will live up to your expectations, I hope. Yeah. My thoughts on it are like it's an interesting thing, right? It's an interesting way to look at it. But option two, if you burn, so basically, everyone was excited because they go like, well, the first trough is going to be 15%. Everyone's expecting that.
No matter what,
no matter what. So I think you're going to have to manage expectations of the fact that, like, all right, let's just get the 15% and let's burn the rest of the supply, right? So that's certainly one thing. And they're opening it to a vote, which I like, because then they're saying, well, let's let the people, we're not going to decide this for you. And they started the blog post off with, look, we've consulted some tax professionals. We looked at a couple people, but last night, and I want to just put this up real quick. Last night,
Chip, they didn't say tax professional. They said a respected tax scholar.
Okay, so nobody. Thank you, Jeff. So last night I did have last night on the XRP community over there on Clubhouse, myself, Bully, and Christian, and a bunch of other of us, and James Rule XRP. We moderated and hosted a session about Spark and this whole thing. Now, Clinton Donnelly, we're going to try to get him on the chain as well, bring him on here. But I was very impressed with his background, some of the stories he told. But he's been working crypto and working in this. And he also he's doing some things a little bit different than a lot of tax professionals are. He kind of brought a whole different way of looking at a different perspective of what he thought, what he's analyzed, because we brought him on specifically kind of to talk about this. And I'm lucky enough to be part of the group. It's really Christian and Bully that do a lot of the work over there. But again, it was just like a conversation. We got to ask him some questions. He has a whole different spin. This is his website. That's all he does. He deals, I love this right there, Jeff.
Yeah,
and he gave some really good stories about some whales that he works with and some very good stuff. And if you'll recognize Ivan on Tech, Bad Crypto, Charlie Shrim, Brad Kimes, really a lot of people here, but he really deals a lot too with the so we'll have to look at getting him on here. But when I look at this number two, how do you feel about them? Like, you get your 15%, yay, 15%. Okay, that's it. You're done. What?
You're
You're
done.
done. You're out.
Yep.
They burn the supply. Now,
There it is right there.
are there
Distribution
advantages to
halt.
doing that, Jeff? What advantages do you see in potentially burning the 85%?
Actually, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Only because the direction that it goes, no matter what, you have no idea what the value is going to be. Your value could be nothing, could be zero, right? You minimize distribution quantity down to 15 billion, still a huge amount overall. You think about 15 billion tokens. I almost prefer to have 15 billion out there than 100 billion. 100 billion dilutes, and that distribution is spread out over the next 3 years. So there's this anticipation that there's going to be more of the asset coming into the market every single month. There's more coming into the market, which could potentially, I don't know, but could potentially keep the valuation of it suppressed. Even with utility, it's going to keep it suppressed because they know the distribution that's coming every single month, and whether people are selling, holding, whatever. But you go to option one, everyone's still getting their 15%. It just has that possibility of it going higher because that's it. Now it's fixed. There's no 3-year wait. It's just, this is it. Good luck.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it. I don't see it as I don't see any of them as a negative. I say, I don't want to pay, I want to make sure that anything that I get, I don't have a tax implication on it. Even at a, 3% distribution every single month, it adds up over the course of the year. Just one more thing, if you have to pay tax on it, unless you can work with Donnelly, figure out, the odds and ends of how you're going to report it, then you got to figure it out. But I like the idea of burning. I think it's not a bad way to go.
Well, also,
What are your thoughts?
I'm a little bit concerned about again, a lot of this stuff is largely driven by the US. You got to remember that probably most of the people that end up with Spark tokens don't live in the US. So in a weird way, even though this is a UK company, they're sort of catering it a little bit to the US. And I'm not so sure it's not a great methodology because the IRS is its own animal. But everybody, when I was in Flare Community Live, he was doing a live stream earlier. Somebody was like, "Who cares about the Yanks?" And I was like, "Well, you guys don't pay tax. I mean, tax isn't like a new concept. Only in the United States that people pay taxes. So everyone may have a different flavor.
Everyone else in the world doesn't pay tax. They're going to pay tax on it. They have
Right.
tax implication. Go to France. Look up the tax implication in France on cryptocurrency, and you'd be shocked at how much they actually have to pay. It's amazing to me.
Well, this is interesting too. It says at the outset, 15% of the total distribution of the 100 billion Spark Flare will be made. Right. Then there'll be a 5-month period whereby the community can come to consensus. Regardless, it's going to be some sort of a consensus over the least 2 possible governance proposals outlined, or any other option put forward by governance. So that's kind of I do like the way they're approaching this, right? And everything that Hugo Affilion does, thinks things through, very logic approach to this. And then if no new option wins, then the distribution will continue from month 6 as previously defined at 3% of the initial 100 billion. So
I like it.
So it's not a bad thing. The buy through burn is an interesting option too.
I like the buy through burn.
It's actually
it's
not
also
a bad.
good.
It's not a bad thing. Now I don't know what tax scholar that it might have just been like, hey, you know a guy? I know a guy. Yeah,
I like the idea of a tax scholar and not
Are
a
you
not
a tax
a
scholar? What's your name? Jane what? You're Jane Scholar? Okay, Jane Scholar, how you doing?
perfect. Have you ever
What do you think we
worked in
should
the
do?
tax space, or are you just working at the PhD level?
Yeah, hang on a second.
Or are you a rogue scholar?
Jane wants to say something. Go ahead. She says burn it, Jeff. That was her tax
Burn it.
scholarly
Burn
advice.
it down.
Burn it
Hey,
down.
you know what? Hang on. Let me reach out to the SEC real quick and let's see.
Jeez. Oh, no.
Let's see. I want to call the SEC real quick. 9.
You got to use the 1970s phone if you're going to get there. That's actually a 1950s phone.
There you go. This is a 1950s phone. All right. So we're going to go. It's saying if you want option 1, 2, or 3, so you got to select it. And then you're going here and say, oh, I made a mistake. I meant to do.
That reminds me of number 9.
SEC. They didn't take the call.
The Beatles tune number 9, and then
Number 9.
somebody put a little funny joke that said, I asked my German friend the other day if he knew the square root of 9. He said no. Or square root of 81. He said no. 9. No. 9.
9.
9.
9.
9.
9.
So if you knew the square root of
Got 'em
81,
both in.
but the joke is no, and obviously the
Well, how about? Do you ever see the show The Prisoner?
oh my God,
What a
hell
great
yeah.
show.
You're talking about the
Remember? Yeah.
original?
The original Prisoner.
Jeff, I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
there.
from the UK.
I was in that fictional little world. That's still there.
Oh,
I
were
was
you?
like, I was
Oh, how
like,
awesome is that?
I gotta
Where
show you
was
the
that?
photos. It's in the UK. It's up in Wales.
Oh man, nice. I would
And
love
I
to
didn't
go
know I
there.
was going with a friend. They
What
go
an
like,
awesome
oh,
place.
and so we're going to, and I forget the name of the place. I have to show you the pictures. They're awesome. You'll be like the same set, the big ball rolling down. They had a little prisoner gift shop there, but that's where they filmed it all. And they go, so I said to my friend, like, well, where are we going? Emma's like, we're going to this whimsical town. I'm like, what? What is a whimsical town? And then when I realized it was where they shot the prisoner, I was like, okay, let's go. Whimsical. The guy that built it was a nut job too, which I love.
Must
Man.
have been. Tell you what's
What?
whimsical also was Liechtenstein. That's a
Lich-
whimsical little town.
That's a whimsical little town with a lot of banks, Jeff. A lot of money going around there. What's the average like household income there?
I think it's 100,000
Yeah, just
minimum.
100 grand, minimal.
And he going up there. I like this legendary said, "Damn, Jeff, do you use that phone for fending off intruders? Hell yeah! It's the only reason I have it around. You get this thing, man. This thing it weighs almost 15 pounds.
Well, not only
Crazy.
that, but you got that old. That's from the 50s because it has that older style plug on it.
That's right. Oh yeah, it's
Or
got
the
old
60s. I
plug.
remember we had it was like the early
But
60s.
this is old plug US. You go old plug in other parts of the world. I don't know. They have different plugs.
Yeah. So
Crazy stuff.
what I like about
Right.
this, what I consistently see out of Hugo Philion, the whole team over there, and all of the offshoots, and that's one of the reasons I like watching Flare Community, not only on Twitter, but really you're dealing with somebody who's a developer who gets the space, who can convey it, and he did 2 streams today, always keeping us up to what's going on. And then all the other one, Flare Finance, another big one. So, and then you got Flare Finance partnering with XDC. There's so much good stuff happening on the space. We saw XDC go up 24 hours, was up 25%. Yesterday was Quant. I mean, we live in an exciting time. If you don't think this is an exciting time, it's one of the most exciting times where minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, we look at stuff in like minutes, hours, and then the 24 hour, right? See what's going on.
It's unreal. I'm loving it. All right. So with all of that, let me ask you a question. If you had $10,000 right now and you were going to put it into either Bitcoin or Dogecoin, what would it be?
Holy cow, Jeff. That's something I've never really considered, I'll be honest with you. Now, if you ask me would I put it in a Dogecoin or Shiba Inu, I still probably wouldn't know. Although early days, you and I, we told the story about, for fun back in the day, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I bought, look at that, Dogecoin up 57%. But over what period though, Jeff?
Oh, that's the vote. That was the outcome.
Oh, so Dogecoin was the one. That was the percentage of people that said Doge?
That's 57%.
Oh, 2,000
decided
people.
They wanted the Doge. Yep. It's a good polling number of the Benzinga visitors.
That's actually nice.
There you
I mean,
go.
I'm kind of
2,000, and look at that outcome. That's a legit outcome right there.
That is pretty interesting. Wow. I mean, so how would you have answered that question? I would have put it in
XRP.
Bitcoin. But if it wasn't a choice, though,
that's a good one, man. I would probably go with the Bitcoin.
I'd go with Bitcoin.
I have a hard time putting that kind of money into Doge, but at the same time, maybe I'd have to hedge. I guess if you said, look, you had to put all 10,000, one or the other, I guess they didn't really ask a question if you'd change it up a little bit. But yeah, I'd be in that 42%.
Yeah,
That's where I'd be sitting right there.
Yeah, and it depends too, like how you like to hold it. Like I had so much Doge at one time because it was like 0.0000. I threw $100 into it, and it was like, it just you didn't have to move much to make some money. But again, Jeff, nobody knew. That's why when you okay, so you look at the Elon, which is what is that? Which was that one? All of these meme coins, right? Call them the meme coins, but Oh, look, I don't think there's any problem with shit throwing 50 or $100 into something. You're not going to miss it. And it's like, throw it in there. And at some point, 3, 5, 10 years down there, it goes to zero. It stays the same. You'll lose money, or hey, you could make a bunch of money. So it's really,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to say, Jeff, on how it might work, to see
Yeah.
what it might do in the end.
AML was saying that I have some short-term thinking because he doesn't think that option 2 is good long-term for the ecosystem, which was the burn off.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know,
curious.
but good point. But what do you think about that part?
Well, you're
So I'm
burning stuff
thinking
all the way.
long-term. You're burning it off long-term. Does it somehow affect the ecosystem? And maybe AML can, comment on that, and some others can comment. Does that have a long-term impact on the ecosystem in any way for it? What are your thoughts on that, Chip?
I got to tell you, when I first looked at it, I had my initial reaction. You and I talked about it a little bit. Kind of interested to see, you just did the poll, right? So yeah, 2,000 people polled. What would they rather do? This is the same thing. What I like about it is the community is going to get a chance to vote on it. That to me is the most interesting thing. They say like, well, we've decided what we're going to do, and this is how it's going to go down. And well, it's free. So what are you going to do? I like the fact that they're thinking about it, but you know what? Option one's not. It might not be a bad idea either. I just don't know about.
Yeah.
I worry about going too far off the what the thought of it was, like what people got around it and supported the ecosystem. And I get it's not available, and I understand that it's being presented to, luckily to XRP holders. But I don't know. We want to get too far away from the original thought, which was there's 100 billion of these. You're going to receive just over one. There's going to be tax implications. Sure, there are. But again, if you're going to start catering to the US, there's probably more people. We already know more people own XRP outside the US. So to me, that doesn't make a lot of sense either. So you don't want to like talk about these individuals when you got the rest of the globe over here to worry about. So I like the fact they're putting it up for a vote. Kind of mixed on it right now, but I'm not sure that I like the whole burning the supply. It's one of the things that made Bitcoin amazing. The fact that they say 21 million, they'll never get to 21 million. There's going to be 3, 4, 5 million lost forever. The number is going to be much lower. Let them have that, but I'm not. But they're also going to burn it too. It gets burnt along the way. So in a DeFi space, I don't know how long it takes to go through that, but I'm not so sure I like limiting the ecosystem because you're using it for a DeFi sort of purpose. You can delegate your Spark for other things. For it's not like you're getting a token like XRP. Yeah, XRP has a very
You're not
special
just
use
holding
case.
it. Yeah, you're going to stake
Just holding
it.
it. You're going to stake
There's
it.
going to be a lot more
Yield.
going on.
There's a lot more going on. F assets. There's so many cool things about it that I'd rather have a bigger supply and let more people play in the sandbox.
Yep. So Channing is saying he's done being a maxi. We've all learned a lot about Doge, and he says he's all about making money. Let's go meme coins with utility. So utility. So far, Doge has no utility, but what do we know about Flare? Flare incorporating Doge. You've got Shiba with the Shiba swap getting and setting up their platform. And I think that's what we're going to see a lot of, the platform engagement, right? That's where the money's going to be. That's where the development's going to be. So it's going to be very cool.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. I mean, I'm just excited about it. I think it's an exciting time. I think it's going to be, the other thing I'm super excited too is and I think Channing has it right. It's fun you got into it because you like the meme, whatever. Let's face it, we all got into this because it was all about investing and growing a portfolio, right? At least I would think
That's
so.
right. Now Hans is saying
Hans and Franz. I was tempted
Hans
to say
loaded.
that earlier.
He said we're in it to make gains, so should depend on what's going to make you the most returns in the short term, so you can hedge those gains on a larger cap. There you go. That makes a lot of sense too. I like that.
That is so
All
true.
about that. There it is.
That is so true.
Sir John doesn't want to. He's done being a USDT maxi, but there you go.
Yeah, Maxiism's a little bit it's sort of overrated, right? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I like that Mr. Virus said, I bought some Ford stocks. Is Dodge getting better?
Oh boy.
Dodge, there is no Dodge anymore. Right? I mean, it's a model, but there's not even a Chrysler anymore. Chrysler's now owned by Fiat.
Yeah.
So there you
And
go.
do you recall one of the questions was asked of Alex Mashinsky about? Do you recall
Oh,
that? Do you want go?
that was
Tell
interesting.
Tell that.
So the question was, why is it that most crypto billionaires are all fired up about buying Lambos and not Ferraris?
And why is that, Jeff?
And so why was that? So there was some, debate on the stage that Lamborghinis were less expensive, Ferraris were more exclusive. But then the guy asking the question, he said, well, the reason they're after Lambos and not Ferraris is because Ferrari's owned by Fiat. That was
That was funny. That was I thought that was
that
clever.
was pretty funny. That was pretty clever.
It's pretty
You
clever.
got the what is that little Fiat car that drives around? Was it the what is the tiny Fiat called?
I don't know, Jeff. Oh, are you talking about the no, that's not the Fiat. I'm thinking about a different
Not
one.
the Mini.
No, the Mini is
But
what I was thinking about. That's a Mini Cooper.
That's owned by BMW.
Is it?
But yeah.
It's so consolidated these days. It's kind of hard to keep it up. What's
Fiat owns a
which
lot. And then Volvo and Jaguar are owned by a Chinese company. And then Land Rover was bought by Tata Motors over in India. And so you got a lot of moving pieces. Chrysler's owned by Fiat. Then you got GM, General Motors, and Ford. That's about it. I mean, there's a bunch of other car companies out there, but there you go. Oh, the Fiat 500. There we go.
There you go. See, everybody always knows. They're so
Or
smart.
the Fiat Uno. Yep. That's
So
what I was
smart.
thinking. Very cool. So Ford used to own Jag. Ford used to own Jaguar,
did.
Land Rover,
They did.
and Volvo. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
They don't
So,
own
Jeff,
any of it anymore.
so you remember the prisoner, right? So I did find the pictures here, so I wanted to show this to you. Look at that right there.
Oh wow.
So does that look like that's the village? So that he built all these buildings over a period of
Well, maybe
time.
Tata did buy Jaguar. Maybe it was Jaguar and Land Rover that Tata bought. I don't know. Anyhow. Yeah, Volvo is definitely owned by China. So there you go. All right. Oh wow.
That was his apartment
these-
up there. That's where he's
Are those real homes now?
Or
is it just still a set?
Well, no, that you can actually really go in there. You can actually really go in there, but it's incredible.
That's crazy.
Man.
Look at that.
You can start there's it's still there. It just happened to go on a really nice day because I don't know, UK could be kind of weird, but you even see like the roofs kind of weird, and
Yeah.
it was really a lot of fun, man.
What a great show. If you guys have never seen The Prisoner, you guys got to check it out. It's crazy. Totally crazy. What a great show.
That's what I'm doing here. I don't want to do that. Yeah, but I had the one where that giant ball would roll down. It was like right over here, but all this, and it's scale too. It's not like a smaller thing, but the buildings were really cool, interesting, fun. It's really interesting. It's kind of cool. 179 Kevin, 589. You two make my night. Thank you for streams, guys. Thank you, 179 Kevin.
Appreciate
Thank you.
that.
You guys make our night, man. Otherwise, we'd be two blibbering idiots here. But the best comment we got this week is the fact that yes, we make your night. You guys see so many nice things, but just think of Jeff and I as your big brothers. That was a great comment we got last night. We got this one as our comment for the night.
So XRP Panic.
XRP Panic. Whoa.
Look at that. Jeff's rotary phone has more utility than Dogecoin.
Hey now, Jeff, what's that all about?
Exactly. It does too. Look at that. Even when it's not plugged in, it's got more utility than Doge. That's pretty cool.
When it's plugged in. When it's not plugged in, you mean?
Yeah, it's not plugged in. Kelly Slade is saying now it's Tata Motors. Got to check out the Tatas when you go over to India. Tata Motors. I tell you what, though, the vehicles, when I was over there, we drove from Mumbai to Ahmedabad. It's like 7 hours up through the mountains and whatnot. And we're in a Tata vehicle, and it was just like a Land Rover. It was really sweet. Drove nice. Build was nice. I had a lot of faith being in there. It's cool. So the Tata vehicles are actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think my brother-in-law's truck was built by Tata as well, down in Chile. I think he had it looked like it looked like a Land Rover. Is it kind of
Yeah,
like
it's
that kind
probably
of look?
exactly same one then. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting,
very
Jeff.
cool. Very cool.
It's very interesting.
Gotta love the
All this
Tata.
stuff. Yeah, you gotta love it. You got Tata Motors. That's so funny, man. All kinds of funny stuff. Thank you, Oscar Nash. Appreciate it later. Keep up the good work. Yeah, man. Really appreciate that.
that.
I want a
So check it out.
Metropolitan with
With
22.
22s.
There you go. There you go.
And you remember the Metro?
Yeah.
Was who made that? Was that Chrysler? Is that Dodge?
I
The
don't
Dodge
know, man.
Metro?
It must have been Dodge. Yeah, it must have been Dodge.
Maybe.
You know, it's so funny because I did get to work at the tech center for a little bit of time back in the early 90s. And yes, I'm an old guy. What do you want? But yeah, I did work
Sweet.
there for a little bit.
Nice.
And but it was cool. They had something at the time called the Mona Lisa, which was kind of like the Indiana Jones giant warehouse. The only bigger one I ever saw was in that movie, Indiana Jones, but it was a massive warehouse where they would take all of the competitive classes. They would you could go in there and you could look at them, take it apart, they'd slice them down the center so you could see, you could look at the engines and everything. It was just like a giant toy place to go, man. It was a lot. Look at Channing here, man. Channing Smithson says for your shib.
Oh, right.
A
Yes.
shib is different
The
than a
shiv.
shiv, right? They use in prison, like when if you just jab somebody with it. It's a little bit. That's a shiv, right? Shiv. That's something different.
I don't know. That's hilarious.
We had this story too, Jeff.
Man, I've been a little bit off on my view. Missed Jaguar with Tata, and it was the Geo Metro. That's right. It was GM. The Geo Metro. That's what it was.
You remember
the Geo Metro? Holy crap!
Then there was a Nova. I remember the Nova, which turned out sounded like a good idea until they introduced it into Mexico, and Nova means don't go. So didn't really work out so well. Nova, it doesn't go. And then
BZ Comedy just snuck in one of the back seats. Just wanted to
check that out.
Sitting in the back, just snuck in.
Enters a room, takes a silent seat in the back. Way to go, BZ. Yeah. Well played. Well played.
Yeah, very quiet.
Quiet. Very quiet. Sneaking around.
Caught
with the popcorn.
So hey, were you going to talk about the whole World Bank thing in El Salvador with Bitcoin?
Toss that. I was going to, but toss it.
Oh, that's a good one right there. Check that out. So we were talking about El Salvador. El Salvador goes to the World Bank and says, "Can you please help us implement Bitcoin as a currency?" I mean, out of the gate, when they asked that question, I said, "Are you guys nuts? Why in the world would the World Bank help you implement Bitcoin as a currency?" That's absolutely no. Exactly. What is No, no, that's it's not going to happen. Yeah, no, we're not going to help you with that technical assistance.
They didn't even finish it. They didn't even get it out there. Hey, would you guys? No,
absolutely not.
Go ahead. We've got El Salvador. We got the president of El Salvador on the phone. Jeff, go ahead. Go. They want to ask you a question. No, I didn't ask a question yet. You want us help? Because it's
no.
They already
click.
know that.
We already have some. Click.
Jeff, why would the World Bank? Why would any bank help them? It's like, would you help us succeed from getting away from fiat currency and central banks? Probably not. No, it's not going to happen.
Oh my God, it was crazy though.
Yeah, I mean, but and it's funny the way they were. Like you saw the way they played this story out. Like they had all kinds of like angles on it. Yeah. And the bottom line is, why would they help you take out? Would you like to help yourself take yourself out of existence, please, so we can make the first legal tender country and others to follow?
No,
you want to just make yourself redundant out of the gate. I'm going to go with no every time. I don't even work at the World Bank, but I know that they got to say no. They have to say no, Jeff. What are they going to do?
Just like the IMF said no. The IMF said, "You guys, no."
Well, the IMF's like, well, we have some concerns because we spend other countries' money. You don't. We got to tell you what to do. You're not a sovereign country because you owe us money. And they're like, yeah, but we're going to crank up the volcano power plants and we're going to blow this place up. And they're
That's
like,
right.
oh, we have to run that by the officials. We don't know if that's possible. Jeff, this might be my. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had to put that up real quick because I saw Steven from he's over there on Twitter somewhere in the Twitter world checking us out. Said everyone's talking about Lambos. Forget that. He's eyeballing one of the new F350D. Man, in my neighborhood, there's a couple F350s around here. These things they're massive. They're loud, massive. I mean, it's amazing how big an F350 is.
You know what that is, though, Jeff? You get one of those puppies. You know what happens? You get your man card back, son. That's what happens. That's what happens. They're like, here you go. Issued a new man card. Because you get in that bad boy and it's phenomenal, right? I mean, it's
man.
It's insane. And it purrs like a kitten.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and then there's one young kid. His dad has an F350. He has an F350, and I don't know what he did to his, but it's ridiculously loud.
No.
Is he?
Every once in a while, you hear about a bad story that happened to someone. Now our hearts all busted up for Stefan Thomas, right? Because, he's part of Ripple. He created Coil, and you're like, you don't want to see somebody. You appreciate the work they put in and done. There's other people that have been hurt, and then this story right here: Mark Cuban hit by an apparent DeFi rug pull.
Oh yeah.
So he says, "You live and learn." That's basically it, right? I mean, there's a lot going on there, but. The bottom fell out of Titan, part of the multi-chain, partial, collateralized, algorithmic, stablecoin ecosystem. Say that 6 times fast. Try to say it 1 time fast. From Iron Finance. Then billionaire DeFi investor Mark Cuban's wallet balance may have fallen with it. The price of Titan fell to 0. That's what we said. You put $100 and you lose 0. You're like, well, it's like going to the casino. Put $100
did he put in? Did he put in $1 million? Did he put in 1,000? Did he put in 100? Was he hyping up? Did he love the Titan? Was he Titan Maxi? What was going on with Titan?
This is why they say right here, it's like because all the holders withdraw liquidity from the pools, they were hit by a bank run. That's why they call it a bank run, because there's not enough fiat to cover all the people that want to get their money. That's digital money, right?
Yeah, and then they pull it out and boom, done.
So he was one of the liquidity providers on QuickSwap, a decentralized exchange. He announced his involvement on June 13th. June 13th, Jeff. That's a couple days ago.
Oh, yeah.
He said crypto businesses make more sense than you think. Valuing tokens is easier, and it makes more sense than you think. Rat-row. 3 days later, that investment makes less sense. So
well, when it goes to 0, doesn't make sense anymore.
So they had Iron and they had Titan. The former is a form of stablecoin. Only instead of it being pegged to the dollar, 1 Iron gets you 75 cents of USDC stablecoin and 25 cents of Titan. So that doesn't even make sense on its face.
Makes no sense. Is Titan also a stablecoin?
Titan, the reverse is also true. Burning 25% of Titan and sending 75% of USDC gets you 1 Iron. You know what I like? How about one USDC gets you 1 USDC? Right?
Why are they making it so confusing? I don't understand this whole mix that they're trying to create. Are they doing a little?
But think about it though, Jeff. I mean, if you're trying to get in on the action, if you get an Iron, it's 75% USDC, but you get 25% of time. So you're actually kind of pocketing the difference for a coin that you minted or own. I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense.
I don't know. You get a Titan, get some Iron. It's man, oh man.
So this guy said, what happens with Titan prices are too high? The farms will give you too much Titan supply, and this is the liquidity problem. So they basically crashed it, Jeff.
They crashed it.
There weren't enough people minting Iron to burn all the Titan being flooded into the market. So when Titan prices started to look shaky, people started selling their farm Titan instead of holding them. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Don't sell it because you're gonna crush the and then.
I know people are making money in this whole pool, farming thing. But I mean, the whole idea of you're putting in 2 different assets and one is supporting the other, and you're getting the return. I mean, it gets really involved. What platform are you gonna have to use to do that? You start going into all sorts of different platforms. You get into Uniswap or what are some of the others out there? I don't even know how to. I haven't even farmed. I don't know. I have no idea. I've tried it, and it's so confusing. Then I even tried it on BitTrue. I said on Bitro, it makes sense. It's easy. They tell you, here's where you got to put these two things in. Then you try it. You know, it's just a lot of work for. I guess there's some massive returns if you do it right.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. If you do it right, but that's the problem. Is a lot of times, you know, first one in, it's just like somebody's going to be end up holding the bag, and it's a couple people win. So responding to a question that this was a rug pull when the founders abandoned a project after cashing out, that's what they call the rug pull. Cuban responded, I got hit like everyone else. Crazy part is I got out. Thought they were increasing their total locked was enough. Bam. He says, you live and you learn. So I like the fact that he was cool enough to come out and say, look, man, here I am, Mark Cuban, billionaire. I got hit. You know, I went in and went into a project. The bottom fell out. But again, the basic problem, Jeff, is like this right here. When you're going into it, you know that it's not what did they think was going to happen? Did they think, well, you know, the worst thing that could happen is it could be like a run and then people sell it. I mean,
all of a sudden they sell that and then that other asset's gone. And now you lose 25%.
Mark Splice. Yeah, maybe Cuban removed it, moving his funds. Yeah, I took 40 billion out of there, so crashed the market.
Kelly Slate said it's so easy. Huh.
Yeah, it's so easy, huh? That's so easy, huh?
And then Moneybag saying it's a write-off for Cuban, and that's exactly what it is. He's playing around, and you know, boom, lose it.
It's a better write-off.
Write-off.
Helping people who are less fortunate than you. That's it. Helping people that, you know, even anonymously. That's a nice write-off too. Or just burning it, and maybe some founders walked away with some cake.
That's
Who
cool
knows?
too. You know what's even cooler than that? Volcano power.
Volcano power is badass.
Volcano power. I wish we had volcano power here in Florida. How cool would that be?
Well, how do you get a volcano here, Jeff?
I don't know. We gotta figure that out.
By the way, it was funny. You just reminded me of something. You remember the one congressman when he was he got on the floor and he said, you know, we got to be careful. It was Guam. He was talking about Guam. He says, you know, you got to be careful about where you build in Guam because if so many people move to one side of the island, it could capsize. This was a real thing. We got to look this up. And we're like, and everyone else is like looking around like this, like, is he serious? He's like, because you know, you don't want it to capsize. And you're like, dude, you know that's attached under there. It's not floating around the ocean. You know, he said it could capsize the island, and then we're wondering why they can't pass real legislation, right? Okay, yeah, okay, it makes sense right now. Okay, stupid things that stupid people say, and elected by other people. So I don't know, man. But
say goodbye to Hans and Franz. Hans.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. Much appreciated. Yeah, we gotta get out of here, Jeff. I gotta go.
Dogecoin army just arrived. Oh, we're running. It's already. Man, oh, look how the time flies.
Yeah.
You know what, Chip? Did you know that we stream 6 days a week? Which is awesome. Man, we stream Sunday through Thursday. Tonight's Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're brand new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. That's a cool thing to do. Help support the channel. Hit the thumbs up. That helps support the algorithm of the channel. And then join us every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Join Jeff. I'm not
8 a.m. Oh, yeah, just me. I'm there all by myself on Saturdays, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'm sipping espresso.
Yeah.
And working around the house.
There you go.
A lot of work to do.
I appreciate our community. The on the chain community,
guys.
Smartest and best.
Best looking too, Jeff.
Subscribership in the entire ecosystem of cryptocurrencies.
Best looking, without a doubt.
Best looking as well.
Best looking.
That's
smartest, right. Coolest.
Even when comedians slide into the back row at the end of the thing, you know, but that's how it has to go sometimes. And just for old time's sake, on the way out, as a departing note.
Wie einst Lily Marlin. Wie einst Lily Marlin.
I love it because I sing along. I love singing to that. But anyway, guys, we got to get out of here. We'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to catch Jeff, 8 a.m. And for you, those of you that are on the other part of the world, you can catch him halfway in the day somewhere. It's not the middle of the night. That's why we always appreciate coming in. So Jeff makes it a little bit easier to catch the show. That's all I know, Jeff. We're out of here.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.